All right, welcome into Market Day Report. It's Friday, and boy, what a week it is. You're all allowed to apply for PTSD after this week because it's been one of those weeks. We've had, on the big WASD on Wednesday, we had CPI and PPI, and so we've had retail sales here this morning. And I think a lot of the market might take a breather here today. We'll have to wait and see, but so far, things have been fairly quiet. Let's take a look at corn, see what it's done overnight. The corn is off just a little bit here, about 3.25 cents in Dees. 694.5 is last. We're still close to $7 though. Geez, March is at $7, 702 even, and that's down 3 overnight. How about beans overnight? What'd they do overnight? Well, they were just a tad higher overnight. No, it was up 2 cents, 13.97 3/4. Look at the high, well over 14 overnight. 14.10 was the high. Jan's up 2.5 cents to 14.08. If we go on down and take a look at the wheat, this one's got some negatives. This slipping still 10 cents lower overnight in Dees wheat in Chicago, 8.82 1/4. We've lost the 9 handle there, and in March. March is at 8.98 1/4. That was also down 10 1/4 cents. Hard red wheat in Kansas City is probably going to be easier too, about 8 cents. Dees is 9.74 1/4 last. March is off 5 3/4 cents to 9.74 1/4 as well. That spread's gone to 0. Let's take a look at spring wheat in Minneapolis. That went down 8 cents overnight. 9.71 is last. We had March off 9.5 cents to 9.76 1/4, but it's interesting, those didn't open up. So very quiet night overnight, you can tell in the spring wheat because a lot of their products didn't even trade. Let's see about cotton. What's happening there? Cotton, Dees cotton was down 42 points overnight to 84.37. That just can't find a bid. But we've got somebody that can explain it all for us, so I'm going to take a break and let him talk. But let's bring in Brian Hoops from Midwest Market Solutions. Brian, thanks for being on the show on a Friday morning. And it's been an interesting one, right? As my old man would say, it's one of those weeks that could drive a wooden man nuts, right? So here we are. What are your thoughts?
Well, good morning, Scott. You know, we had export sales out this morning, and we had some private export sale announcements as well. A couple soybean sales, one to China, one to unknown, and then a soybean meal sale. So next week's soybean export numbers should be real outstanding. They were decent this week, about 27 million bushels. The problem with that is we need to be averaging about 32 million each week to hit the USDA forecast. So we're still running a little bit behind the pace that is needed to reach the USDA. We'll probably hit it next week with these private sale announcements. But it's real concerning that our export sales pace for corn and for wheat during this time of year are so dismal. Corn sales are only around 8 million bushels. We need to be like at 38 million each week to hit the USDA forecast. And so this is one of the reasons why we've been kind of warning clients here. If you're in that mentality where you're going to slam the bin door shut and forget about marketing, there could be some surprises for you in the next several months. As ethanol demand did increase last week, but overall is running really slow, and the USDA's acknowledged that with lowering export demand as well as ethanol demand in last week's report. Wheat sales, they were really disappointing as well compared to where we need to be to hit the USDA forecast, and they just lowered the forecast. So feed demand for wheat, export demand for wheat, it's dismal right now. We're trading off of concerns about what's happening overseas with Ukraine and Russia, as well as dryness here in the United States, and maybe robbing us of some yield and some acres in that hard red winter wheat belt.
Yeah, I don't see a lot of relief as far as volatility and things getting easier going forward here. And you're right, that store and ignore, it doesn't always work. And who knows? I mean, it's been a year of, as Vince Scully would say, and a year of the improbable. The impossible keeps happening, and yep. it's been like that. So who knows? Maybe it does work this year. I would say what you would say. I thought that could be a little bit dangerous. But then going into the spring, we've got still really high inputs, and I've got some brokers telling me that it's not really worth it to be hedging out into Dees 23 or NOV 23 yet because it's not that really good of pricing.
Yeah, exactly. It's a dichotomy of two different marketing years. Right. This year, here, you have $7 corn, $14 beans at harvest, but you don't have that opportunity in the spring. So, we may need to see a rally in the spring, but just over the near term here, we may see some weakness in prices going into the fall, into the winter months.
All right, well, that's all good stuff. We're going to go away. We're going to take a break. I'm going to have some coffee, but I don't really need it. But thanks for being on. Take a second. Wait in the wings. We're going to come right back after these messages. All right, welcome back to Market Day Report. Thanks for putting up with us there. Lots going on still. We just went through the grains. Let's go through the livestock. If we bring up that live cattle table to see, this is just going to be where we closed yesterday. This is a little bit of a weird exercise, but let's go through it anyway. Deese closed yesterday. Deese live cattle in Chicago down 52 cents to 147.92. They closed down 42 cents in Feb to 151.70. This is just going to give us an idea of our jumping off point. And boy, oh boy, after that week we've had, it's been a wild ride. November feeder cattle down 57 cents, 176.10. Jan's down 60 cents to 176.30. And then finally, let's go to lean hogs. What's happening there? We're down a dime in Deese. We were down a dime. We closed at 80.60 yesterday afternoon. And February yesterday afternoon closed down 15 cents to 81.72. All right, let's bring back in the venerable expert, Brian Hoops. He's going to give us his ideas about where he thinks these meats are going to open up here this morning, considering where the other stuff is traded. What are your thoughts?
So beef sales this morning, pretty disappointing, I thought, compared to the last several weeks. We did, have a report from the American Meat Federation in the month of August was an all-time record for beef exports, but, we seem to be slowing down a little bit here as we go into late September into October. Sales not quite as good as what we saw in the previous month. Cash cattle trade was at $1 higher. We've heard some 146 call-in bids, and if those are realized today, that's $2 better, and I would hope to think we'd see some sort of a reaction in the cattle futures, but $1 higher, pretty much in the dress markets as well as live. It was on a moderate volume, so I do expect to see additional cleanup trade today. The pork sales pretty decent. We've had very strong pork sales, and that's not been really an issue with lean hog price discovery. Exporting a decent amount of pork. China's showing up as the number one buyer once again of soybeans and for pork, and so it's a good sign here for prices continuing to try and see technical recovery that's ongoing in this hog market.
All right, that's good stuff. How about who's Augustana got this weekend?
Wayne State.
Wayne State.
Yes, sir. Battle of two 5-1 teams looking for some playoff action.
How's the team this year? What's your record?
5-1.
All right. Wow. So let everybody know your son plays for them, and does he get time on the field?
Sir.
Does he see time?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Linebacker, middle linebacker.
Really?
So.
Just like his dad, I bet, right? I'm looking for a new team, Brian, because the University of Colorado, I played for them. We just got ranked the worst team in Power 5 conferences. So that's we're 0-5, and I'm looking for a new home. So maybe it's going to be Augustana.
Jump on the bandwagon.
All right, brother.
Playoffs the last 2 seasons.
Good luck tomorrow. Have a good weekend.
Thank you.
Thanks for being on. He's in Springfield, Missouri. We're in Nashville, and I'm going to throw this back over to Janet.